Well, this is my ongoing series of my movie collection alphabetically. I'll be covering movies that start with the letter N and the letter O. Starting with DVDs, we have the Naked Gun, classic Zucker Brothers movie. First one's the best in my opinion. I thought it lost steam after a while. The original Narrow Margin, great movie. Charles McGraw, I think he gargled glass every morning to get that voice he's got. If you've never seen it, it's just a cool tough guy movie, film noir. And then there was a remake in the 80s that I liked. I think I'd recorded it off TV when I was younger with Gene Hackman. And then there's a series of films called the Martini movies that was put out, and this is a 70s cop movie called The New Centurions. George C. Scott, Stacy Keach, and it was a pretty cool movie about the life of the cop in L.A., I believe. Now, this next movie was a blind buy. I've not seen it yet. I know it's a musical, and if you've seen enough of my videos, you know I actually hate musicals, but I wanted to give this a chance because it's Scorsese, it's De Niro, but I've yet to have the guts to put it in. I found it really cheap, so I thought it'd be worth a shot to see if I could be swayed into liking an actual musical. So someday I'll pop it in and see. We have the Marx Brothers, Night at the Opera, just a classic. It's the only Marx Brothers film I own right now, but I hope to get some more. Nightmare Before Christmas, I don't own this on Blu-ray yet, but I do plan to upgrade when I find the right price. Also do not have the Criterion of Night of the Hunter. I just have this version of it on DVD. Great movie, and I do hope to get it on that great Criterion Blu-ray, but gotta wait for the right price, and that might be a while. This was a pretty cool movie I had never heard of when I found this, I think, at a pawn shop. Night of the Following Day with Marlon Brando, and it's a cool 70s kidnapping flick, and I thought it was really well done, so I want to check that out. Now, this was a blind buy. I've yet to watch it. 1900 with De Niro and Gerard Depardieu, excuse me. It's a Bertolucci film. Also, you might notice it's the title is numerical, but I put the movies in my collection alphabetically, so I just, whatever the spelling is of the number in the title is where it ends up, which is why 1900 is here in the N section. So, I have not seen it yet, but someday. 1941. It's a Spielberg film that really didn't do well at the time. It is a bit of a mess as far as story, but it's very energetic, got some great comedic actors in it. Great score. I love the score. But yeah, it is lesser Spielberg, that's for sure. Ninochka, which is a great Garbo film. Billy Wilder was one of the writers. I'm not sure if he directed. No, he didn't direct. Ernst Lubitsch did. Don't know if I pronounce his name right, but very good comedy. There's very few classic comedies that I like. They seem to date more than other types of other genres, but that's a good one. North by Northwest, another movie I have not yet upgraded to Blu-ray, but hope to. The Hitchcock classic. And we're into the O's. War flick with Errol Flynn, Objective Burma, which is good. I don't have to say they're good. They're in my collection, so I obviously must think they're good. I'm a huge Coen Brothers fan. I've yet to upgrade this to Blu-ray, but it's Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? I think, yeah, as of right now, I own every Coen Brothers film that's available in some form or another, which I plan to continue to do that. In my opinion, they've never made an outright bad film. Lady Killers is pretty darn close, but even that has some moments that I like. Alright, October Sky. Good family flick. Classic The Odd Couple. This is the Centurion collection. This is a really sharp DVD collection that was put out by Paramount. And then the comedy classic Office Space. I love this particular slipcover. It's done like a filing cabinet. I think you can kind of see there. There's a little silver sheen there. It's embossed. Really nice. Officer and a Gentleman. Old School. And the original Omen with Gregory Peck, Lee Remick. And a really good flick called Once that I like quite a bit. Once Upon a Time in America. I do own this on Blu-ray, which you'll see in a bit. But this is the 2-disc DVD set. I really like the cover a lot there. And Savage Steve Holland's One Crazy Summer. Part of his John Cusack, we can't call it a trilogy. It's a duology? Better Off Dead, One Crazy Summer. Documentary called One Day in September. It's about some Palestinian extremists in the, which Olympics was it? 72 Olympics. Killed 11 Israeli athletes. Really good documentary. Spielberg's Munich takes place, or has to do with that massacre and the aftermath. Great movie. Neo-noir, One False Move. Fantastic movie. Billy Bob Thornton co-wrote it. Carl Franklin directed. Bill Paxton's in it. Billy Bob Thornton plays a part as well. Can't recommend that enough if you like thrillers, crime thrillers, film noir. Great movie. Speaking of film noir, On Dangerous Ground, a great Robert Ryan film noir. Fantastic. Pretty cool Western called Only the Valiant with Gregory Peck. My favorite ghost story movies, The Others. I have this on Blu-ray as well, which we'll see in a bit. Same thing with Outlaw Josie Wells, great Clint Eastwood Western. I also have that on Blu-ray. Out of the Past, one of the best film noir movies, Robert Mitchum. And if you ever saw Boondock Saints, you might want to actually avoid this movie. It's about the guy who wrote and directed it, Overnight. This is a documentary about him and pretty much his out-of-control ego, at least according to the filmmakers here. It's a really good, crazy documentary. It might affect whether or not you like Boondock Saints, though, so be cautious. Owning Mahoney, an underrated film with Philip Seymour Hoffman, who's just fantastic in this. Kind of a low-budget movie, independent movie. Based on a true story about a guy who worked at a bank who had a gambling addiction and just the lengths he went to support that addiction. It's really good. And another great Western, The Oxbow Incident with Henry Fonda. It's a really good flick. Alright, of the television shows that I own, there's no letter N, but I do have The British Office. Let me get it, oh shoot. The British Office, which is my preference of the American and the British Office. British Office wins out every time for me. But I do like the American Office as well. up to about season 5. There's season 1, and then the other seasons I have as well up to season 5. Up to season 5. Alright, now we're looking at Blu-rays that I own, starting with letter N. Napoleon Dynamite. The Natural. Natural Born Killers. Near Dark. Network. New York Stories. If you're not familiar with this, Woody Allen directs a short, Francis Ford Coppola directs a short, and Martin Scorsese directs a short, all based in New York City. The Woody Allen short is my favorite of those. No Country for Old Men. Again, I'm a huge Coen Brothers fan. Also a huge Hitchcock fan. And Notorious is one of my favorite Hitchcock flicks. Excuse me, Hitchcock flicks. Probably the sexiest of the Hitchcock films. Ingrid Bergman and Cary Grant in this movie are pretty hot. Observe and Report. Directed by Jody Hill. Co-written by Danny McBride. Ocean's 11. The only one of those movies I actually like. Don't really care for the others. And there's the Blu-ray of Once Upon a Time in the West. One of my favorite westerns of all time. My favorite Sergio Leone flick, and I'm a huge fan of his. Underrated little ghost story film called 100 Feet. Written and directed by Eric Red, who wrote Hitchhiker as well as Near Dark, which I just showed a second ago. Orphan, nice creepy kid film, sort of, kind of, if you know what I mean. Speaking of creepy kids, The Orphanage, good and creepy. Outbreak. The Other Guys. And The Others. My Blu-ray upgrade of that. And then we've got Out of Sight, which I love the cover art that they used for that from the original movie poster. Also, where is it? Shoot. And I have a couple of Blu-ray books. Outlaw Josie Wells, which I showed the DVD a minute ago. There's the Blu-ray book. And One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Another great movie. And a nice Blu-ray book there. If I can show a little bit. And then one more movie. This will be on an upcoming Blu-ray DVD update because I just bought this. Outlander, great underrated film in my opinion. Pretty much a throwback to the 80s sci-fi movies. So check that out if you've never seen it. Alright, is that it? I think that's it. Alright, well, let me know what you thought of those movies, and yeah, I'll try to get some more of these out and get through my whole freaking collection at some point. Alright, rate, comment, subscribe, blah blah blah. Later.